It helps form a bond stronger than something really strong. I speak not of polydent, but of abstinence. At least according to a young man named Steven Crowder. Who's he? Who argues in his latest column that abstinence is kind of awesome. Crowder muses on why abstinence remains a punchline despite offering plenty of benefits to being friends without benefits. Forget that abstinence leads to approximately 0 STDs or studies that show, at least in successful marriages, it's the unbeatable bond of trust that's the real prize. Yes, says Crowder, there's no more worrying about your significant other cheating on you because partners can be supremely confident in their respective self-control, unlike the inventors of the new South American butt dance.
That is an injury.
That is just
that
unusual.
is not
I think you got a concussion.
That'll put me off sex forever. Steve, here's my question. It's admirable. When do you stop? When do you stop with the abstinence? How will you know it's time?
Well, once you have a ring on your finger, obviously. The only way to know for sure is once you're married. And, of course, people know I'm a Christian. This column is not at all pushing faith in anybody. It's just talking about the actual benefits. If you really want to argue for abstinence, you can stop the argument and be abstinent, don't get sick and die.
Yeah.
But, I can say from personal experience that it does build a bond of trust. Constantly you hear women, how often do you hear, well, don't you trust me? It's like, no, you slept with me on the first date. So, of course, I don't trust you.
It's that old thing like I wouldn't join a club that would let me into that club.
Right.
It's, she's going to sleep with me, then she'll sleep
Usually
with
because I'm
anybody.
Canadian. They won't let me in.
Yeah.
Except for Canadian club ginger ale.
Amy, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yes, but also, if I sleep with a guy on the first date, usually if a guy holds my hand, he's going to wind up. So here's the thing. I don't think that women should use sex as a bargaining chip, and a lot of them do. If I want to sleep with someone, I do it. And I am a monogamous slut. Can I say that on air?
I think you can.
Great.
That's not what we're worried about.
But what I'm saying is, I have a higher risk of disease. I also have a much higher risk of fun.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is to prove my point by saying that, you don't think it should be used as a bargaining tool.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as, the kind of point of the column is that abstinence is the one taboo issue regarding sex. I mean, it's like, oh, be a dirty stand-up comic. You're cracking new ground there, Copernicus. But once you talk about abstinence, everyone all of a sudden, they put you, like, right now, we have to talk about it. Because who is this kid who's talking about abstinence who,
Well, it's who's this kid who's, 23. You don't know who you're going to be sexually yet. So to talk about it with such authority and arrogance.
I don't know who I'm going to be what?
You don't know who you're going to be sexually yet. You're going to be into really weird things in about a decade.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Yeah.
Trust me. And the thing is, it doesn't.
But I really do want to do.
But there should be no confidence. You slip by the dirty comedian thing. But honestly, you call yourself a comedian, but you don't do it that much. Like I go fishing a couple times a year, but I don't introduce myself on TV as a fisherman.
Wow.
Well, it's not really personal for a concept about abstinence. I'm
No,
saying the
but
whole
what I'm
point
saying
is
is
that
there's
someone
no
can get up on
way.
stage, we even talk about it in the column, and talk about anything dirty that they want. But the second you mention abstinence, people, they pucker with discomfort, like, oh, no, we can't talk about this, and you're vilified as
It's
judgmental.
just not
Statistically, it's the healthiest thing to do. It is conducive towards a better marriage by a 25% spread, both physically.
It only takes
physically.
that one person, though, and there's no contract that the person's not going to cheat on you because they're abstinent. She could
There is
fall
no
in love
contract.
with somebody
Well,
else.
actually, there is a contract. That's what a marriage
She
is.
could fall.
It's a contract.
It's a
Well,
contract that more than 60% of people break.
No, actually, that's not true. Actually, if you even look at the new U.S. Census Bureau statistics, more than 70% of first-time marriages last.
Okay, but then the guy goes off and sleeps with a young boy.
Well,
Good, you guys stayed married, but then there's infidelity.
Well, once you bring out the statistics that guys are running around rampantly sleeping with young boys.
First of all, I'm not a boy. I know I have characteristics as such.
All I'm saying is yes, you're right. Of course, it is way safer to not have sex, but if you have sex with one person, maybe they've had sex with one person. It only takes that one. I've probably had sex with, I don't know, a baker's 2 dozen, and I'm fine.
You had sex with Mike Baker? He is happily married.
He is a
Thus
stud muffin.
proving your point.
He's hot. All I'm saying is not cheating
you're
is a contract.
You're abstinent, but not by choice.
No.
He's bought me some absinthe because we've been practicing abstinence. But you bought absinthe for us to share.
I thought it would lighten the mood and maybe get you naked.
Yeah.
Didn't either. Lots of vomiting.
Sorry.
I
It's on your
would like to
jacket now.
say that even though I'm not as absent by choice, Teardrop, I thought it was a great column, and I thought he made some very good points. And there is a point to be made about how the fact that really the only taboo left is this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really nothing less that'll get your shock factor up.
Yeah, no, it's true. And also, you know what your mom always said, Imogen, your mom always said, if you want respect, don't put out.
Exactly.
So there is, I mean, it's something that's handed down, and until you have kids, you might find yourself saying that.
And
Right.
I do put it in my book. It's gone around the world, and I
Yeah.
do on one level talk a bit about abstinence, but more like a few dates. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you act like someone out of Jersey Shore if you want a long-standing relationship.
They
I
have
do
great
put
abs,
that
though.
top
Yes.
tip in
Yeah.
my book. Yeah.
That's the thing, like lack of abstinence is directly linked to really good abs. That's the problem.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
That's,
That is
I've
true.
got a beer gut.
But I have to
Yeah,
say,
right
my
here.
last 3 relationships, which each lasted between 2 to 5 years, we slept with each other almost immediately. And it's because I knew that I wanted to be with them, you know?
Except
But
at
why'd you
5 year-
kill them?
Except at the 5-year mark.
Yeah, but so what? At least I figured it out and I didn't get married and spend my life with somebody that I
And you had
hate.
some
But
fun.
statistically,
And
that's
I had a great
unrealistic.
time.
Statistically, that's wrong. I mean, if you want to disregard stats, in
What,
fact, then you can
statistically,
say-
what's wrong?
Statistically, 87% of people who wait until they're married are happier, and 52% aren't. And the same thing that you can look at the social organization of sexuality. These are not
How do you have
Christian-funded
statistics
studies.
on people's happiness?
You tell them, are you happy?
Are they-
you
because they're
emotionally
at church
satisfied?
smiling?
No, you can say, are you emotionally satisfied in your marriage? Yes, no. By 25% spread, both spouses who are virgins, yes. Are you sexually satisfied in your marriage? Yes. Is it difficult for you to achieve orgasm?
Why would people have to be honest
It's
about
all
their
the
emotions?
sources are listed in the column. Every single source listed. These are things that have been used by the Kinsey Institute.
What I'm
not
saying
calling
is,
these out.
who cares what they said? A lot of people say they have happy marriages, even in therapy, when they're miserable.
So the 25-point spread doesn't matter because only the people who would be lying would be the people who are abstinent?
I just don't know any happily married people.
Speaking of statistics,
I don't.
let's get back to my plight.
What?
Statistically, 100% of these women are not calling me back.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Nobody's reading my column,
That
if
is
you catch my
true.
drift, Craig.
Yes.
So call me, ladies.
Yes, exactly. Maybe you should have done the column on abstinence.
Thank you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the headline would have been sad face.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry that got so heated. I just want
That
to
was
say
good TV.
I just want to say that I read the blog and it did come across to me like you ended it by saying no judgments, but it definitely felt very judgmental.
Of course, and the column was written about the reaction from people like you who the second you talk about abstinence get upset. So thank you.
Well, people like me who are almost 10 years older than you and know what it's like to live life and not just have all these morals with no life experience.
Right, I had no life experience. That is true.
I'm sorry, but somebody who works a little bit of the
You're the ripe
Christian
old age of
comedy
33.
circuit.
The Christian comedy circuit.
What's
What's just happened?
No,
here?
no, the irony
I have to
is,
say, this is the
irony
longest debate we've ever had on
It
Red
is,
Eye
it is.
in almost
And the
3.5 years.
the irony is they make a very sexy tune.
They really do.
No,
the
he,
best thing.
I like
Almost as
Steven.
sexy as,
I think
Lloyd
he's
Long.
smart. No, I think you're smart. You're young, and
See what I'm saying,
you're
Greg?
great.
Yeah.
But I'm just
Well,
saying.
you were wrong on all those counts. I'm one
This,
of
is,
those
this
things.
was all a ploy to pick you up, by the way.
Oh,
So
I'm
like-
flirting. This is me flirting. Is it working?
She spat on me during the commercial break, which means
That's
she
my
likes
thing.
me.
That's
All
what
right.
I do.
So, do you have a comment on the show? Email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. Can't wait to watch this at home.
I know.
And to leave a voicemail on my direct line, call 212-462-5050. Still to come, the halftime report.